Jason Dickinson with another really strong game as the de facto number one center on Patrick Kane's line. He's got 7 points in his last, I think, 4 games, maybe. Whatever it is, he's on a tear lately. And him and Patrick Kane, oddly enough, like if I had to pick somebody for Patrick Kane to find some chemistry with, I'm not sure I would choose Jason Dickinson. But, man, those two have really clicked together very well. Dickinson just kind of plays such a simple game. I heard him being interviewed during the second intermission, just sort of saying, like, hey, you're playing with Kane. You got to be ready. Keep it simple. Keep the stick on the ice and go to the net. And he's been rewarded. That's exactly how he got the goal, the penalty he drew. Patrick Kane had the puck at the blue line, was waiting for the trailing Dickinson to get to the net. He did. Perfect pass from Kane, and Dickinson drew a penalty. If not, it would have been a goal. Those two are on a wavelength right now, and I think Dickinson deserves some credit for his versatility and the way he's been able to play lately.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to play the video after I hop off here, you can from Dickinson, but not to spoil too much of it. But he talked about playing with Patrick Kane and how he feels that he's a very versatile player himself, that he's able to kind of adapt pretty easily to the guys he's playing around, and that honestly he hasn't really had to change too much of his own game to make it work with Patrick Kane. So that's confidence in himself and in the way he plays. And yeah, Dickinson is not a he's not a flashy guy. He's not a primetime goal scorer, but he's a guy that can go in and give you a little bit of everything depending on the role that he needs to play. So yeah, I think when you have guys like that, sometimes it is a little bit easier to mix with a player that has such a unique skill set that like Patrick Kane does. When you put a guy, like Patrick Kane with Patrick Kane, there could be sparks. There could be magic. You put a guy who could, put up 40 goals with Patrick Kane, then you have, outcomes like Artemi Panarin's break into the NHL, or Alex DeBrincat, the way that he was able to play with Patrick Kane. But when you have a guy who's, plays a simple game and can be adaptable to his line mates like Jason Dickinson, you have these odd matchups where, you put a guy who, not to badmouth Dickinson, but a guy who's kind of just a guy with Patrick Kane, and you see these spurts of, offense come out where you really wouldn't have expected it to come. So, that's a credit to him and the kind of player he is. And honestly, to think that Jason Dickinson would come in this season and have the impact he has, it's kind of just been gravy on top of everything with, how he got here and, what Kyle Davidson gave up to bring in Jason Dickinson. It was, that was the Canucks giving up on Jason Dickinson.
They gave us Jason Dickinson and a second-round draft pick to get $2 million of cap space and Riley Stillman. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's not the worst thing they've done this season.